down, please. Boys and girls, I feel a little cold. I think I need some clothes.
Don't worry, that North Carolina cotton will be back as soon as Chinese workers have milled it and cut it and turned it into It won't occur to these children for some years to come, but they are being trained to compete in the global marketplace. For the time being, China's most significant contribution to the global economy remains cheap, reliable labor. Line them up, snap it on, plug it in, check it out, send it off. Snap it on, plug it in, check it out, send it off. Snap it on, plug it in, check it out, send it off. Snap it on, plug it in, check it out, send it off. It's an endless, mindless, bottomless pit of a job. Anyone who's ever worked an assembly line can tell you about the pressure and the boredom and the fatigue. But if they don't like it, and many of them don't, there is a vast labor force of Chinese country people, peasants and farmers, more of them than the combined populations of the United States and all of Europe, desperate to take their places. And that is where it all begins. What they are assembling at this Ethan Allen furniture plant is what the company calls the Pratt sofa. It's a pretty expensive piece of furniture, costs a couple of $1,000s, and the base, this part with the hand-turned legs, is also made in China. Anna Rocket, who's 23, does quality control.
I'm an inspector here at Ethan Allen. Basically what I do is I clip strings, make sure the piece of furniture looks perfect, you know, does it have any holes in it, does it have any mishaps in it before we send it out the door.
Anna earns about $20 an hour, which is roughly what 17-year-old Mu Wen-jing earns in a week, doing essentially the same job, quality control, on these boom boxes which are bound for the United States. Walmart, to be precise. What confuses Mu Wen-jing is that Americans get to buy cheap imports while she can't afford anything made outside of China.
That's what she felt the most unfair thing. Very expensive here, but why in America it's so cheap?
Because here in China, people work for very low pay.
Oh, do you guys get high pay?
Yeah, we get high pay. Yeah.
How much?
Too much. Maybe you should be a television reporter. What do you think?
Do you think yes?
Yeah.
Yes, because, you know, she said staying in this factory is a waste of her talent, actually.
A waste of her talent. I like that. Which is pretty much the way Anna Rocket back at the Ethan Allen plant in North Carolina sees things, too.
It's just a bunch of different things that you have to look for. It's kind of almost a very tedious job at times.
But here's the kicker. The Pratt sofa that Randy Smith is working on here, that's headed to China, Chongqing to be precise. China's growing middle class has got plenty of money, and they appreciate good American workmanship.
I think it's wonderful. As long as we manufacture the furniture here, we can sell it to anybody we want. That's fine. I have no problem with it.
Today is delivery day for some long-awaited new furniture, featuring both a red carpet and white glove delivery service, literally. As for the couch being so meticulously unwrapped, so gently, dare we say, lovingly moved and placed, that's the very couch that was assembled and upholstered in North Carolina, where it was placed on the legs and base shipped from China. And now, here it is. Ethan Allen's Pratt sofa, complete and in place at its final home in Chongqing. With Mrs. Zhang and Mr. Ding who know a nice piece of American craftsmanship when they see it. An investment banker, Simon Erblich.
America has to figure out what it wants to do here. China's growing fast, and they're opening up their doors. So either China in the long run is going to be a competitor of America's or a partner.
Both?
Or both, because being a partner with China, at the end of the day, is going to be good for everybody. Both financially speaking, politically speaking, from a humanitarian standpoint, that is a win-win situation for everybody. And you're not going to be able to avoid the efficiencies of market, the cheaper labor that's going to be available all over the world, and you can't keep running away from that.
Take silk making, for example, an ancient Chinese industry. These silkworm cocoons, nurtured on thousands of acres of Chinese mulberry bushes, are about to be relieved of their silken thread. They enjoy, thanks to Simon Erblich, a small, humble place on Wall Street. Another thread, if you'll pardon the pun, in the fabric of Sino-American relations. So, what do you know about silk factories?
To be honest, not much.
But then it's not their expertise on silk production that makes Simon Erblich and his partner Dan Hirsch interesting to the Chinese. Simon and Dan find companies that can be listed on American stock exchanges. Let's say an antiquated silk factory that needs money to buy new technology. Chinese entrepreneur takes American investment, updates factory. Chinese government provides incentives, silk factory blossoms. In theory, everybody gets rich.
They were valued very low, $1 million, $2 million here in China.
So that's what you see as
an opportunity.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Exactly.
Win-win?
Win-win.
For whom?
Everybody.
Just as one day, when millions of Chinese peasants have been drawn into the cities, the remaining farmers will start using engines, perhaps even Briggs & Stratton engines, to work larger plots of land.
When you have less farmers trying to do the same amount of work without the actual people, you know, they're going to have to start buying automated products to help them.
If I said to you, Jim, is there any way of untangling the Chinese-American relationship? Are we and the Chinese, for good or ill,
yeah, I think it's meshed. It's got to be meshed forever. I mean, if you look at the amount of companies in the United States that rely on Chinese-made products or Chinese-made materials, you know, if you try to pull that apart, you would have so many companies with complete loss of supply of what they do. So I think it's something that will only get more involved with China as time goes on.
Bargains for the American consumer, quality exports for the growing Chinese middle class. Remember Ms. Zhang, the woman who bought the Ethan Allen couch? She drives a BMW from Germany, wears a Burberry shawl from England, and carries a Louis Vuitton handbag from France. She's paying her weekly visit to Walmart, which in Chongqing, at least, is one of the upscale places to shop. There are delicacies to be found here. Chicken feet, far superior to the local variety, imported from North Carolina. If you're trying to get a handle on the Sino-American relationship, Walmart's not a bad place to start. In America, where consumers are looking for cheap foreign imports, and now in China, where the Walmart name conveys a totally different image of quality and high-priced foreign imports. It's more than a toehold. Capitalism, of all things, has established a solid foothold in China. How about that?